Bear with me. And all right. Hello, hello. Welcome. This is Ann Timpany, and this is your free training teleseminar on creating awesome retreats. This is your ticket to getting paid to travel the world doing what you love, sharing your genius, your gift, your passion, transforming lives, and getting paid to do what you do best, beautiful locations that light you up. So thank you so much for joining me today. We're going to be spending the next about 75 minutes together diving into the juicy stuff that I've learned on my journey. But before we dive into the content, many of you who already know me know that my kind of signature transformational modality is using laughter and play. And laughing and playing to facilitate transformation, just to relax into the truth of who we are, and really to be our best selves. And so I would love to just begin our time together by simply using intentional laughter, and I'll tell more about that in a second, just to create our sacred space where our truth can unfold today, where our highest journey, our highest truth, and our highest selves can emerge. And simply allowing the sound of our shared laughter to create a virtual community, because there are so many people on this call who are here for the same reason, and we need to connect with each other. We need to feel like we're part of a larger community. We're not alone doing this. And so by simply participating in this moment of shared laughter, we get to connect through our voices and relax into our truth. And, of course, oxygenate our brains so that we can be fully present, paying attention, and being receptive to the energy shifts, the information, and the transformation that you're getting from just today's call. So for those of you who have not participated in intentional laughter before, if it feels weird, it's okay. It's perfectly normal to feel like this is very strange the first time. But all we're doing is taking a deep breath in, and on the exhale, we're adding some laughter sound effects, ha, 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 and just allowing yourself to put a smile on your face and listening to the sound of the other voices on the line. And just allow yourself to breathe out and relax. Let yourself laugh if it feels comfortable. If it doesn't feel authentic for you, just put a smile on your face and add a ha, 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 and let that be enough. Well, let's just set the intention for us to relax and connect through laughter. And then here we go. On the count of 3, taking a deep breath in and exhaling with laughter sounds. Here we go, all together. Ha, 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 Awesome. Thank you. Beautiful. Oh, it's so good to just hear the voices of people all over the country and all over the world, really, on this call. Thank you for calling in. And if you were not on the line live, or if you're listening to the recording, I hope you laugh along anyway. And just know that you are part of this circle, this vortex that's been created by all of us gathered. Okay, so today, as I said, we're talking about creating retreats. I'm going to share with you a little bit about my story in hopes that the nuggets of wisdom that I've gained along the way are of benefit to you. I find that that's how any of us really learn it, is hearing the stories of other people who have blazed a trail and then trying out what works for us and taking action based on what we feel inspired to do. So for those of you I haven't met yet, thank you again for joining me. My name is Ann Timpany, and I've been doing retreats for about 4 years now. And I started with just a big idea. I didn't have any training or background in facilitating groups or organizing travel or anything like that. It just came to me as I was desperately seeking my path and my purpose and praying and meditating every day. What is the purpose for my life? What am I here to do? I feel like I want to make a contribution and do something that's meaningful with my life, but what would that be? And as I was on that path of desperately seeking meaning and purpose for my own life, I discovered a program that allowed me to laugh intentionally with other people and share the gift of laughter. And as I started laughing with people, ha, 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 just doing what we did right at the beginning, sharing intentional laughter, I discovered that it lit something alive within me. And as I was meditating one day, asking, what is it that I'm here to do with my life? What is my gift, my calling? I don't have any idea what it is. I literally was clueless and oblivious. I have a master's degree in history. I've worked a lot of different jobs. I had been doing website design. I was going back to school to be a physical therapist. I'd literally been bouncing all over the place trying to find my path. And after laughing one day, it just felt like this door of inspiration opened, and I knew, oh my goodness, you know what I want to do more than anything with my life? I know I want to share this gift of laughter and joy. I want to facilitate transformation, and what would light me up most is to travel the world doing it. Wouldn't that be so cool if I could travel and share laughter with people and transform lives and see the world? And that lit me up like nothing I'd ever felt before. I'd been studying and reading the works of Joseph Campbell, and Joseph Campbell had written, "Follow your bliss, and doors will open where before there were none." And I kept thinking, well, I'd follow my bliss if I knew what it was, but I don't know what my bliss is, and I don't even know what bliss feels like. I know what makes sense and what's practical, but I didn't know what bliss was. But this idea, when it came to me, I got so fired up. I got so excited. It was like the first time I really dared to let myself dream that big. And in that, I could feel this light coming alive within me. That feels like bliss. And so I decided to just live this experiment to see if what Joseph Campbell had written was true. That is it really true that if we follow our bliss, doors will open? And at that point, I was in a nothing to lose situation. So I said, well, why don't I just live it and find out? So I just tell you that to say it wasn't like I had extensive preparation or planning. This just started from a wild hair idea, a vision, and a whole lot of enthusiasm for, hey, let me see what happens if I do this. Now, when I first started, I didn't have a clue how to lead retreats. I'd never been on a retreat. I didn't know anything about organizing travel. I had no background in creating a business. I had really nothing to start from other than trust in this idea that it was possible and a decision to do it. And so I felt like I was starting at completely square zero, and I just decided I will figure this out, whatever it takes. And so from that point, it was just a matter of taking one step at a time, and another step and finding my path, figuring it out, and having face plant after face plant along the way, experiencing the failures I needed to experience every step in order to really discover the truth of who I am. And we're going to talk more about that. But my point is, from that first moment of decision and commitment, I went on to lead some extremely successful retreats not far from where I live in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. And then this last fall, I've done one in Maui, and I've done a couple in Thailand now, so it's gone international. And so every one has built upon itself and expanded me, expanded the people who attend. It's just taken on a whole energy of its own. And to the point where now I've created a business that is successful. I've generated profits from my retreats. I've got it factored into a business model that's sustainable and covers my expenses and allows me to live the lifestyle that I truly want to live, following my own bliss, traveling the world, sharing transformation with people. And, you know, it's not like I've been doing this for 20 years and I can share 20 years of experience with you. And it's not like I've made millionaire status and can tell you how to make $1 million. But what I can tell you is how I've created a life that works for me, doing exactly what I love on my own terms. And really, it doesn't have to take that long. The stuff I'm going to share with you today is intended to help you shortcut some of the process and and find your own way on your own path. So before we get into a little bit more of the content, I am going to be offering some material that you'll want to take notes on. So if you take a minute and grab a pen and paper or something that you can scribble notes on so that you're prepared when that comes up. And then we're first going to really connect with why it is that you are here. Each one of you is on this call or listening to this recording because you feel guided to be here for whatever reason. Something within you has said, yes, I need to listen to this. You may not even have a full-fledged vision for retreats yet. You may be very far along in your business building strategy. I don't know where you are, but you're here for a reason. The first thing we need to do is connect with your big why. Why is it that you want to lead retreats? Or what is it about retreats that made you feel drawn to be here today? Is it something about being with groups? Is it traveling the world? Is it facilitating transformation? What's your big why? Just take a moment and write down why it is that you want to lead retreats for you. What's your why? Take a minute and just scribble on that. Now, I hope that one of the reasons that you are here on this call is because you want to have more fun. Ha, 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 ha. Because part of the point of doing retreats is that they're fun. Like, that is the whole point. For me, that's what lit me up in the first place. Is it's one thing to create a business that I don't know what form other businesses would take. All I know is the one I've created, and mine is fun. But to do retreats means to get people together in a way that's really fun for all of us. And what that looks like for you might be different for me. Some of you would choose different activities maybe than I would choose, and vice versa. But the point is, retreats are an avenue for you to have more fun in your business, in your life, in your work, in your calling. And that's really what the journey is about. For me, it's about connecting with the joy of the journey. And if you aren't finding that joy, it's time to restructure your business model or your life or whatever it takes to be living in alignment so that you feel like, I love what I do. I am on my path of joy, and this is so fun. So retreats are a perfect way for us to do that. Now, I really feel like retreats can be critical for your business success for that very reason. Because so many of us are trying to make a difference or figure out how it is that we're best here to serve in the world or fulfill our calling. And we're learning all these different ways to be in business, different business models and different ways that we can make money from sharing our gifts and different ways that we can be of service. And all of that is fine, but it involves a lot of figuring things out. And we're learning new skills, all of us, as we move in the direction of creating businesses that we love. And in all of that figuring things out, it's really easy for that fun factor to fall by the wayside. And we find that we're working really, really, really hard, and we're putting lots of hours in, and we're maybe even making plenty of money, but the fun factor just isn't there. And so for you to create a retreat that allows you to do what lights you up and be in an environment and a setting that makes you feel like, yes, I love my life, that alone is going to fuel you so much that it ripples into every other aspect of your life and your business. It is not an isolated event. And so to intentionally create a retreat or any type of a setting that's in a location that takes you to a place that really expands you is a win-win for everyone. You become a more beautiful, expanded, joyful version of you, and that can only help the people who come to play with you. So another piece of it is that many people now are entrepreneurs or want to be entrepreneurs or budding entrepreneurs, and especially in the online space, creating businesses that you can do from anywhere. There's such a movement now to be able to work from a computer anywhere and so on. And there's so much appeal for that. And certainly that's been the path I've been on as well. But what we find is as entrepreneurs, as solo entrepreneurs particularly, we are working in isolation most of the time or much of the time. Unless you've already created a team or a staff or a partnership that allows you to co-create, most people are working very independently. And so to hold a retreat is an opportunity to gather with people face to face, which is what all of us are yearning for at the soul level. We may be introverts and work well alone, and we may have a need for quiet time and space to do our best creation. But having a retreat allows you a space to get together and connect and do that face-to-face, really heart-based connection that we all desperately need, particularly if you're working in an online space. It also allows your participants, your tribe, to create a sense of community. And that's a big part of what everyone on this call is here, because at some level you are a leader of transformation. And transformation, as you know, doesn't happen in a vacuum. We have our own processes that we do in our own personal space where we're, having our own healing, or maybe have a one-on-one session with a person that allows us to expand, whether it's a healer or a coach or a bodywork therapy or something. But ultimately, our transformation really blossoms when we are in a community of people who get us, who support us, who allow us to see the parts of ourselves that we hadn't even recognized. And having a retreat allows your people to find their community and find their tribe and find the friendships that they've been yearning for but they haven't found yet in their own community. So as you put together your retreat, you are part of this beautiful movement that's happening on the planet right now, where we are being called to step up and create spaces for our tribes to gather and to create virtual communities that maybe we don't live together 24/7 in the same community, but we connect in these little pods on retreat and create friendships that are sometimes lifelong and create collaborations and partnerships and all of those beautiful, kind of creating a web, interconnectedness happens when we come together. So as you are drawn to put together your retreat, just know it is not about you figuring out how to launch a business or create an event. It is about something bigger and beautiful, more beautiful than you can imagine. This is about you showing up, holding the space for your people to connect not only with you, but with the other people who are drawn to you and create that sense of community. And of all the retreats that I've been doing, that's been the consistent theme that has been the most profound and unexpected gift for me. I thought I was on this journey of following my bliss, leading transformation, figuring out how to have a business doing what I love. And it turns out that the most beautiful unfoldings have been from the relationships that are formed by everybody who comes to the retreat. And for all of my retreats, the people who came are still friends years afterwards. They still keep in touch. New connections have formed, and it just feels like people are finding, oh, you get me, I get you. This is my tribe, and this is invaluable. So just know that's part of your journey. Now, every one of us that's on this call, you are here because at some level you are already a transformational leader. You may not have owned it fully yet. You may not have thought of yourself in those terms, using those words, but you wouldn't even be attracted to a phone call like this or a recording like this if some part of you was not resonant with that element of your existence. You are a leader of transformation, and there's something within you that thrives when you are facilitating transformation with people in a group. There's a gift within you that only you are here to share, and it's unique to you. So whether you find yourself doing retreats or whether that takes a different form, just know that you are here to be a leader of transformation and make a powerful difference in the lives of the people who are drawn to you and your work. And you can do that so joyfully through retreats, or maybe you'll find your own path. But I just want you to really own that and resonate with the truth of you, because it's about stepping up and owning that and expanding into that empowered version of you that is really here to make a powerful difference, and you get to do it by following your bliss. So the first thing is to really resonate and connect with that deepest truth. It's not just fluff. It's not just words I'm saying. It's feeling it inside of you. Does it resonate as true that you are here to make a powerful difference? Even if you've been denying it, even if you've been playing small, thinking, oh gosh, who am I? That's where I started. Oh, who am I? You know, we all are carrying that garbage story. And so in this moment, I just invite each one of you to decide, from this moment, I am enough. I'm at whatever point in the journey I am at of learning how to do things, and I have maybe more or less experience than other people, but I am enough, and I'm going to own it and claim it that I am here to make a difference, and I get to do it by following my bliss. So wherever you are on your journey, we're just getting started, and this phone call or this recording is the first step of the whole rest of your life, and it's getting more and more awesome every day just because you showed up. Well done. So the next piece is just to connect with what is the transformation that you offer. If you were going to hold a retreat, what would you want to offer? And there's a couple ways of thinking about this. There's thinking about the activities that you would like to do, but then there's zooming out and looking at, if somebody came to a retreat that I held, how would they be different by the end of it? What transformational journey would they undergo as they went through the time with me, whether it's a one-day retreat, a weekend retreat, a week-long retreat? You can chunk it down into any size chunks you want. But take a moment and tune in. What is the transformation that you would like to offer on your retreat? Get out your notebook or your journal, your piece of paper, and just write down the first thing that comes to mind. You don't have to get this perfect. It's just letting it pour out through your pen right now. What's the transformation you offer or would like to offer? And if you don't know, just start writing and see what comes out. It's fine. You are enough. We've got that established already. Maybe it's some kind of healing, knowing life purpose, clarity, creativity, limiting belief, work, transcending. What's your transformation? Another way to think about it is if somebody's been to your retreat and they go home afterwards and they're telling somebody about it, what are they telling their friends? How did they change during the retreat? How are they different? Just imagine what somebody might be saying. Just, again, write down the first thing that comes to mind. You don't have to know. It's not getting it right. Just write. How is somebody different? Okay, and now you have activities that you already know that you're passionate about. You may not know exactly how you're going to structure your retreat. You may not know even how to put together activities in a retreat, and you may not even have clarity on specifically what activities you want to offer. But you have some ideas of what you'd like to do. if you've got the whole retreat vibe already on your radar enough to be this far into the process, there's something. So take a minute and write down what kind of activities would be fun to do on a retreat with people. If you were leading your dream retreat anywhere you wanted, what would you love to do with your people? Maybe it's dancing, music, meditation, painting, artwork, creativity, laughter and play. You know what you love to do. Okay, so far you've written down why it is you want to do retreats. You've written down what the transformation is that you want to offer. And you've got some ideas for the activities you like to do, kind of the medium or the vehicle through which you offer this transformation. So this right here is the seed. This is the seed of your retreat. It is the essence. And this is what everything starts from. Like, this is enough. This is enough. You don't need more to get started. You know why you want to do it, you know what you want to do, and you've got a vague idea of how you might like to put it together. That's your core. So if you're on this call, you're a transformational leader. You've already got your vision and that much detail, even if it doesn't seem like much. That's enough. You are a retreat leader. Now you're just a retreat leader who either hasn't done a retreat yet, and you're about to, you're growing into that person who does them instead of dreams about them. Or maybe you've done some retreats and maybe you haven't made much money, or you've had to cancel them because people didn't show up. You know, whatever your story is, you're just expanding more fully into this essence of you that is already a retreat leader and a leader of transformation. So after you have this essence, really take some time after you listen to this recording and be with that essence of you. You might want to make a vision board around it, flesh it out through images, putting together pictures, finding pictures from the internet, or looking through magazines at your dream destination. Something just to anchor this in your awareness on a daily basis so that you see it and really own it. You might take some time after we are done today to write in your journal and write a complete description of what your retreat went like in past tense. If you could describe your ideal first retreat and say, wow, I did it. And just write in your journal. Now, you might draw a picture if art is your thing. You might do a dance if movement is your thing. But find some way after we get off the call today to connect with that essence and embody it through writing, through vision boarding. We're going to do a really short exercise right now just to help embody that a little bit. And that is simply creating an affirmation for yourself. And using an affirmation, we're just going to use the words I am to really own it. And we're going to say, I am a transformational leader, because you are. So if you fill in the blanks and say, I am a transformational leader who leads blank retreats. What kind of retreats do you offer? I call mine joy retreats. You might do creativity retreats or healing retreats, or, what's your thing? What's your verb? You don't have to have it perfect. This is not trying to do marketing at this point. This is just, I am a transformational leader who leads retreats. Write down the first thing that comes to you. And then the next part of that is addressing the result or the outcome, the transformation that happens. So I am a transformational leader who leads blank retreats where people come to blank. What is it that they're transforming? Fill in the blank and make this your affirmation. I am a transformational leader who leads blank retreats where people come to fill in the blank. If you're leading a mindfulness retreat, people come and quiet their mind. If you're leading a creativity retreat, you're allowing them to express creativity or write their story or whatever it is. I am a transformational leader who leads blank retreats where people come to blank. And then write that somewhere where you can post it by your mirror and see it every single day. And reconnect with that truth, that essence of you. This is you. This is your truth. You may not have led a retreat yet, but that doesn't mean that that's not you. You are already a retreat leader, and this is your calling. You're just growing into it more fully. Now, after you've got the essence of your retreat and what you offer, really it's just about taking inspired action. So this next chunk, we're going to talk about the action steps, the actual, what do you do? How do you do this? Where does this start? But you can't do anything until you've reconnected or connected with that essence of you to get really into alignment. This is where your juicy retreats are going to come from. So I'm going to share with you as much as I can during our next chunk of time together. And then at the end, I'll offer a little bit more information on how we can keep working together if you feel inspired. But I'll dive into the logistics as much as we can in our limited time here. So again, before we take action, it's really important to get our mindset straight and squared away so that we are taking action from alignment with our soul and not so much out of fear or desperation. So often what I see in all the people that I work with as coaching clients is those of us who are born to be some form of transformational leaders wrestle with these unconscious beliefs that I'm not enough, or my gift is weird, or it's not valuable, or how would I ever find people who value what I'm about? Because, most people around here don't get what I do at all, or they would think I'm weird, or most people don't understand this, or, that whole level of thinking that just perceives that we are weird and the world is going to reject or judge us and we will ultimately fail. Just know that that is the biggest mindset hurdle that you're going to encounter on this journey. And all it is a mindset shift. It appears to be real because when you are coming from that unconscious assumption, that's what you create in your life. And so then you manifest results that provide evidence that, of course, you are weird and nobody gets you and they won't show up. But ultimately, once you shift your mindset, your attitude, and your thinking about the world and your gift, you will find that the results manifest to mirror that same belief. So that's where this game gets really fun, because you are about to take action to be the retreat leader that you are already born to be. And as you start taking action, you start getting to see what results you manifest. And then you get to look at those results to say, oh, am I actually manifesting results that are in alignment with my soul? Or am I manifesting results that show me where I'm still living in fear? And that's all this action step is about, is taking your first step to discover, am I really radiating confidence and trust in the world and valuing my gift? Or am I playing small and really believing that people aren't going to value what I do? Okay, so we'll go into more of that, but just know that at a conceptual level, that's really what this is about, is discovering that. So let me just share with you my personal story around creating my first retreat to make this grounded in reality a little bit more. So when I first decided I was going to create retreats, I was full of enthusiasm, had a big idea. Yeah, I'm going to transform lives. I'm going to share joy, laughter. Oh, this is so cool. I'm going to do a retreat. Okay, I'm going to do a retreat. And I thought, where would I most love to do a retreat? Well, I live not far from Jackson Hole, Wyoming. It's a beautiful place, and the Grand Teton National Park is right there. It's one of my favorite places in the whole world. And I thought, oh, wouldn't it be so cool to lead a retreat there? That would be so fun. And so I told a couple people, yeah, I want to lead a retreat in the Tetons this summer. This was about New Year's, maybe even before that, but it was kind of out there, and it felt like this huge stretch, like it was just words, you know. And as the spring went by and then we got closer to summer, I realized, yeah, I know I was wanting to do a retreat this summer, but if I'm going to pull that off, I would have to organize, plan, promote, and fill the whole thing in like a month. And that's not going to happen. I might be a dreamer, but I know that that is really not going to happen. I had done nothing. I had taken no action. I had nothing to show for it. I didn't have a date. I didn't have a place lined up. Zilch. And it was such a frustrating and depressing realization that I actually had not done a thing to create my retreat. I got really, really torqued off. Like, I don't want to keep living that. I've done enough of that in my life where I had an idea and I didn't do anything about it. So I'm going to have to pony up here and do something differently, and I don't know what that is. So I looked at what's really holding me up, and it was this story. I don't know where I would have it. I don't know where the location is. I don't know where. I don't know. And I had a case of the I don't knows, which is so disempowering. Just know that if you catch yourself thinking, I don't know, it's some form of fear that is holding you back usually. There's a very different energy between, oh, I don't know, in a lack mindset versus a, wow, I don't know how it's going to unfold, but I know it is. The divine not knowing, which is totally opening and trusting the universe to bring you what's in your highest good. You can feel like I don't know, and it has a very different energy. So I was in the, oh, I don't know energy, the smallness one, where it was an excuse to not take action. So I decided to look at that. The thing that was tripping me up was I don't know where to have it. So what can I do about that? Go find a place. And I'd been looking online, trying to get some ideas, and then I decided, well, it'd be even better if I just went there and looked around. So I drove over there one day with the intention of just driving around till I found a spot to have a freaking retreat. So I was going to stay as long as it took. So I drove, and I kept asking my intuition to guide me, show me where to go. And after about half a day, I came around the corner, and there was a lodge that had a cabin that drew my attention. And I pulled up, and I peeked in the window and went, oh, that would be so cool. Oh, and all of a sudden I could see my retreat happening. It became more real, like, oh, yes, I could see myself having a group sitting there in a circle, and we would talk there, and then look, we could walk down here and go to the water and sit on the lake and do Qigong, and it started feeling more real. So I felt like, oh, yeah, this is my place. I want to do it here. So I went to the office and inquired about booking retreats there and so on, and they book up a year in advance, popular place, and this was already summer. So if I was going to do a retreat next summer, I would have to decide right then and there. And that's where I had to come face to face with my fear and that energy that was me putting things off, because I had to decide, am I in or am I out? Am I committed or am I going to talk the talk and never take action? And so I decided I want to do a retreat next summer. I really do. And I don't know how, but I've got to do this. I just have to. So I booked the cabin, and I had to give them my credit card to put down a deposit to hold those cabins. And I had to book enough cabins based on how many people I thought I would have. And at this point, it was all a pipe dream. I didn't have a clue. I just knew I had to do something. So I picked a number and booked the cabins. And that right there was both terrifying and a massive shift, because I went from dreaming about a retreat to now having money in the game. Like, I just put a big charge on my credit card to figure out how to do this, and I'm giving myself a year to do it, but wow, if I don't, I'm going to lose this chunk of money, and I'll be really embarrassed too. So I was freaking out. It was just a scary moment where I really wanted to throw up and kind of crawl in a hole. But at the same time, it was a really empowering moment, because I'd stepped up and said, yes, I am doing this, and I believe in myself enough to put money on myself. And so that's really what got the wheels in motion. And from there, it was just knowing I am doing this. I have dates now, and I have a location. I created this structure for myself. Then it was just, okay, I will figure out how to do this, whatever it takes, because I don't want to lose that money. And there's something about having money in the game that compels us to action more than if we don't. And I've seen this over and over with myself. And then since I became a coach 3 years ago, I've seen it over and over with clients too. As soon as you've got money in the game and you've invested in your journey, something happens internally that propels you to take action that perhaps you didn't even know you were capable of. I don't know how or why it works this way. I just know that it does. So on that trajectory, then, it was just step by step, showing up one day at a time. What do I need to do to create a retreat? What do I need to learn? And so we're going to talk about this again in a little bit, but as you look at the excuses you have of why you're not taking action, or the doubts that you have that are keeping you from actually booking a spot or really picking a date and doing it, making a list of what feels like a doubt or concern is going to give you really, really helpful data into your own mindset. Because what you can do is make a list of everything that feels like a concern, an excuse, a doubt, oh my goodness, what if, and just write it down. And then for each one of those things, you write down, well, what's the one action step I could take that would help find a solution to that? And then it becomes action-oriented, practical, concrete, instead of this nebulous fear of, oh, I don't know, what if, you bring it into reality and say, well, here's what I can do about it today. And that's exactly what I did for this first retreat. It was just make the list of all the ways that I was feeling inadequate, insecure, and then come up with, well, what do I need to do to learn it? What do I need to do to get that information? Who do I need to call to find out? Keep focusing on the solution and what you can do in every moment. So first thing for you then is to connect with, where would you love to have a retreat? Where, if you were following your bliss and could go anywhere, what would make your heart sing? Where would you love to go to facilitate your first retreat? Doesn't mean you have to do them there forever. You don't even have to do more than one there. But just for your very first one, what just feels like, oh, this would be so sweet? Or if you've already done retreats and you've got some experience, where would you go for your next one? Following your bliss, where would you do your retreat? So take a moment to write down where, and then also your why. Why do you want to do a retreat there? Take a moment to just connect with your location. Where do you want to have a retreat? And then as you're visioning yourself being there, maybe you don't even know enough about it to have a feel for what that place feels like, but just roll around the name of it in your head, in your mind, in your body. What does it feel like to feel yourself being there? And again, we're going to create another affirmation around this just so you can feel it and embody it a little bit more deeply. So if you were to say, I create awesome and profitable retreats in blank, and this is your location, what does that feel like? So in fact, add your word from your first affirmation. So if you wrote, healing retreat or meditation retreat or dance retreat or whatever it is that your type of retreat was. Write down, I create an awesome and profitable blank retreat in, and then fill in the blank with your location. And then add that clause where people come to, and then fill in the blank. What do they come to do? They're coming to transform what? So your final sentence reads, I create an awesome and profitable blank retreat in blank where people come to blank. Fill in the blank. Now, how does that feel? When you read that, it starts to feel more real, and if you're doing it right, it may start stirring up your stuff, your fears, your insecurities. So this is where you get to write down all of the things that come to mind. If you say, I create awesome and profitable blank retreat in this location, what comes up as to the reasons why that would never work? Why that probably would be a disaster, why people would never show up, why it probably won't make any money. You know, all of those stories. Take a moment and just write down the garbage in your head that pops up. Why this is not a good idea, why you shouldn't even start. Get the garbage out. Have a big dump. Make a list. I'm not enough. Who would pay me to do that? I'm not worthy. There's a couple common ones that I've seen over and over with my clients and myself too. Around money, like, oh, I shouldn't be charging money for this, or I should be giving this away for free, or, you know, I couldn't make any money from this. There's the pricing piece that we're going to talk about in a few minutes. And then there's the piece of, oh, I couldn't possibly do a retreat or an event there. Who do I think I am? I can't let my life be that awesome. I mean, that's really the unconscious limitation that we're operating when you think, oh gosh, I dream of leading a retreat in Bali. And then you go to actually do it and you find, there's some part of me that believes I actually couldn't let my life be that awesome. Just notice what's there. And then take a moment and we're going to write down some new empowered beliefs, the power statements that are the antidotes to those fear-based limitations. Coming from your most highest consciousness, your divine truth, the knowing that you are here to make a powerful difference in the world. You are a divine being. You are answering the call of your soul that is guiding you to everything you've ever dreamed of by being the best version of you. Coming from that divine truth where you are enough. And the gift and the passion that you were born with was divinely placed there in the seed of your soul for you to connect with and discover on your journey right now at this point, owning it that you are enough, that your genius is your gift to share with the people in the world who need exactly what you have to offer and no one else can offer it. From that place, what is your truth? Knowing that in your divine truth, abundance is your natural state, and you have a divine right to be compensated in the form of money in exchange for offering your genius and your gift, because you're fulfilling a need and serving a purpose that helps our entire planet live in greater harmony, peace, joy, happiness. What is your truth? How awesome are you willing to let your life be? How amazing are you willing to allow your life to get? What new beliefs do you need to write down to counteract those limitations? Take another minute and write down what comes to you. Now, I know I said we're going into the action phase, and we've been talking here about mindset. But the reason I start with that is after connecting with your big why, getting your mindset in alignment is your key to taking the action that's going to bring you success, the kind of success that you want on your terms, whatever that looks like for you. Just discovering where your mindset is and tweaking that so you are in alignment with your soul's vision is going to make the difference between creating the life and the manifestations and the outcomes that bring you more joy and those that bring you greater frustration and despair and disappointment and heartache. So all we're doing here is creating a really strong foundation for you to live from alignment. Now, as you're making these mindset shifts and really just taking the time to connect with your divine truth, this is where you allow your inspired actions to come from. Like you access a whole different level of ideas and ways of doing things that you can't access from when you're coming from that limited mindset. So it's really important to take care of your mindset piece first so that you can access your most divinely inspired ideas. So as I've worked with people, these past few years doing joy coaching and helping people come into alignment with their soul so that their thoughts and their actions and their behaviors are in alignment with their highest truth, these seemingly little shifts that make the difference from spinning your wheels to actually creating the workshops that get you out in front of people doing what you love. There's people who have gone from, I don't know what my purpose is, to leading writing workshops and creating events and retreats that allow them to share the gift of writing their life story. Other people are using this to shift their money mindset. I've got one client who's totally transformed the whole lack and limitation piece to manifesting however much money she needs for everything that she wants to do. The money just keeps coming in and keeps coming in and keeps coming in. It's just a non-issue anymore once you step out of the story. Another one is shifted to not enough and not worthy to now be teaching classes and sharing creativity with people and making that difference that she's drawn to make. Others are getting out of that fog of, I don't know how, and discovering that by stepping out of that mindset and taking action, they're now attracting the clients and the gigs and the paying gigs and the money that is allowing them to get out in the world in a bigger way. So it really stems from this heart of choosing your empowered belief, choosing to empower yourself by getting clear on what's the garbage and then rewriting the story. So spend a lot of time on that just because it's at the heart of all of this. Because really when it comes down to leading retreats or doing anything else, whether it's creating a business or your life or you name it, 90% of what we experience is coming from our mindset. Because anybody can learn how to create a retreat, how to book a place, create some marketing, do this. That stuff is not difficult. The how-to is just more information to learn. It's who you are being as you create it that determines whether you're being successful in generating the results that you deeply want or not. And so I spend a lot of time on this how you are or who you are being first before the how-to stuff, because I can give you lots of how-to stuff, but if you're not stepping up and expanding into that fullest version of you before you take action, you just end up taking another class or taking another seminar that you learn some new information, but you're not implementing it, you're not doing it, or you're not manifesting the results that light you up because you haven't changed as a person. So just know that as you're moving forward on your journey, you can learn a lot of information and you can build strategies and you can learn all sorts of information and stuff. But it's about who you become in the process of implementing it, in the process of doing it, that makes all the difference. So I know when I started doing retreats, I had this vision of doing retreats around the world in beautiful places, and it was really hard for me to imagine myself actually doing that because I hadn't traveled to these places. And so I hear that from a lot of other people too. Wow, I'd love to do a retreat here overseas, in Madagascar or Tuscany or Bali or, somewhere. But I've never actually been there, and I don't know anyone there. And so it's just far enough out of the known that it takes it out of the realm of immediate possibility, and we get fogged with the I don't know hows, and there it sits. So there's a couple things I want to say on that point. If you want to do retreats or events internationally, or even anywhere, it doesn't even have to be, 12-hour time zones away, just somewhere you've never been, and that unknown factor is holding you back. So there's a couple ways you can do it. One thing is just to find somewhere that feels more known, feels more familiar, more doable, to take that element out of it and just get you some traction in working with people doing what you love, and get you some traction getting out there, sharing your message without adding that other factor of travel and, enormous airfare expenses and so on first. So if you haven't yet been working with people sharing your genius, just find something that's not so far away that would feel fun, because there is somewhere that is not far from you that you would feel like, that would be cool. I would like to do that. And start with that. And it's enough. You don't have to swing for the fences and hit a home run the first time up at bat. It's not about that. It's about getting yourself out there and playing with people in whatever form that you can take in this moment. What feels real for you right now, do it. Taking any step, even if it's not your home run, is better than, I don't know how, and taking no step and waiting one day for this magical pill or magical fairy to come and bring you to your destination retreat in some exotic international location. So take a step wherever you can. I started close to home because I realized I would like to get some experience leading retreats before I started investing a lot of money in airfare and travel and just putting myself out there in a bigger way first. So after leading my very first retreat, it was an out-of-the-park home run, it turned out, by the way. I took my baby step, put my money down, and gave myself a year, figured it out. And not only did everything go smoothly, it turned out better than I could have ever imagined. People had more fun than I could have dreamed of. It was just so far beyond my wildest dreams. It was incredible. And I had wild dreams. I was so lit up about this thing, and it was even better. Now, because I took that action and did my retreat, I became the person who did it instead of talking about it. I manifested then somebody else who said, hey, I heard you do retreats, and I heard it went really well, and I heard you're awesome at it. Would you be willing to co-lead an event for me? I want to do some events in Thailand, but I don't know how to get started. And so this is how I got paired up with my partner for my Thailand trips, Daphne, who was also starting a business, and we ended up collaborating. So my point is, I didn't have to go looking for, who do I know? How can I do international events? I don't know. I just took the action that I had right in front of me, and then that is like sending this huge billboard out to the universe that said, I'm in business, I'm in the game, and I'm ready to roll. And the universe is like, great, game on, I'll bring you more. And so without having to try, within a week of my retreat, I got this email from somebody who said, would you be willing to lead a retreat in Thailand or an event in Thailand? And I'm like, let me pinch myself. Yeah. So we met to see if it was a good fit and so on, and then that started a collaboration. So that brings me to my next point about leading retreats in places you've never been. So either you know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody, or you can find somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. You don't have to be the expert on your location yourself. If you want to go somewhere and lead a retreat, and it's the place that lights you up, and it's your bliss, and you know, oh, I want to do a retreat there more than anything, but you've never been there, you will find your way. You will be guided as you start telling people, I am doing a retreat here, and you start looking for where you want to do it and finding dates, and you make it more real. You will be brought to the people who can support you, whether it's somebody who lives there or somebody who has a friend who's got a friend or an uncle who lives, some kind of connection. Just know that you can and will connect with the people to support you. The retreats that I did in Thailand, I had, this partner, Daphne, who spoke Thai, who knew the language, knew the culture. She took care of all those details so that we could just relax and focus on the joy part. That's one way of doing it. There may be somebody that you know who's been there or who knows somebody who speaks the language. Just put it out there. Let yourself be more visible with your intention and your desire, and the people who are a match will be drawn to you. Now, the other thing you can do is just do it anyway. When I decided I wanted to do a retreat in Maui, I'd never been to Hawaii. I didn't know anything about Hawaii other than little snippets I'd read and a few brief conversations I'd had with people, but nothing of substance. So this is another way of doing it. Just go where you feel drawn to go, book it anyway. And what I did was I made as many phone calls as I could to people who either had been there or talked to the retreat center people and got their recommendations and got some phone calls. I also went online and had fun doing research, looking up activities. What would I want to do more than anything? Oh, we need to go outrigger canoeing. Oh, we need to do this hike. And then just calling the people who lived there and let them know, hey, here's what I'm thinking. Do you have any recommendations? You can do a lot in this internet era just by going online, Googling, picking up the phone and calling people and getting whatever information you need. Just even asking questions. Hey, here's what I'm thinking about doing. Do you have any ideas? And they're more than happy to support you in bringing your vision to reality. It's really beautiful. It's just a matter of picking up the phone. The other thing I did was go there a little bit early before my retreat people showed up. And so I could rent a vehicle and drive around and scope out exactly where I wanted to go. So I knew I wanted to do an event on a beach, but I didn't know the beaches. I'd never been to Maui. So I gave myself a day just to do some beach recon because I was following my bliss. What would be fun for me? Oh, I think I'll go to Hawaii and spend a day scouting beaches. I mean, for me, that was fun. So that's what I did. And I just went around and drove and said, oh, this is the perfect one. And then I drove to another one and, oh, this fits what I had in mind for this day. And all of a sudden it all clicked into place just by going, a little bit before the retreat, doing my research and recon, and then it worked. But all of that, it works, but it requires a degree of trust in yourself and trust in life, trust in the universe that you can do it and you will be supported and you will be guided to the places. And that is the piece that I find most transformational leaders in their onset of their journey wrestle with, is not really trusting themselves or not really trusting life. And so that's why that is the key piece that we untangle in the retreats that I do, is really shifting that energy and helping you blossom into that version of you that is trusting of yourself, that believes in yourself, and trusts in life, in the universe. Because that shift makes all the difference on whether you take the bold action or whether you expect failure and hold back. So, follow your bliss. You can lead a retreat anywhere you want. Either you'll have the connections, you'll be guided to the connections. The universe will bring you the connections you need after you've started where you are with what you've got, or you can just jump out and do it and trust yourself and it'll work. There's any number of paths. It's just finding what feels right for you in this moment. And for me, it always comes back to following that bliss, following what is authentic for you, what would light you up, what would bring you the most joy and help you keep moving forward instead of getting unstuck or getting stuck, staying stuck. So Again, here as you're looking at where you want to do your retreat and why you want to do it there. Again, make a list of all the reasons why you couldn't do it, why it wouldn't work, what would be hard. Just get the garbage out, because sometimes there's juicy nuggets in those, I was going to say limiting beliefs, but sometimes it's just realistic thinking like, oh, I don't know anything about the beaches. Well, then there's an action step. Do recon. Find out about the beaches. Go to the beach. And so make a list of your concerns, your shortcomings, your worries. And then after we're done here, take a few minutes and make an action plan for what can you do to be the solution, to find the solution, to pick up the phone. Just map it out so it's on paper instead of in your head. Because here's the other piece that's so critical for this process. As you are stepping into becoming the retreat leader that you are born to be, this is about owning your leadership and stepping out of victim mentality, that voice that says, oh, I don't know how, or I'm not enough, or I don't know. You know, this is where I started when I first got this idea. I was paralyzed by that. I don't know hows, and oh, who do I think I am, and all of these voices that keep us playing small. And what it really is it's just this fear-based consciousness that keeps us from owning our awesomeness. And it's none of us is it our divine truth. This is garbage programming that we've all been brought up in for the purpose of our soul's journey of forgetting completely who we are so that we could have the joy of remembering our truth as we go through life. And here we all are at this point where we are massively remembering, and we're helping each other remember. And now you and I are all on the phone together because each one of you is feeling drawn to help other people remember by holding transformational retreats with this huge ripple effect, massive wave. But in order for you to be the transformational leader that holds retreats, you've got to embody it. And that means going, I am not playing the smallness game anymore. I am a transformational leader. And so as you take the I don't knows, and then I don't know how, you can flip that switch from victim I don't know into empowered I don't know by, again, creating a new affirmation that says, I don't know how, comma, but I know that I am here to lead a retreat in, fill in the blank of your dream destination, and I am ready to do it. Now, it doesn't mean you have to do it tomorrow or next week. It may mean that 2 months from now, or 2 years from now, rather, is when you do your retreat. But it means that in this moment, you are embodying the I'm ready attitude and stance that radiates that readiness to the universe. And that gets the wheels of the car moving. You know that analogy that if you're driving a car and you're trying to turn it and change direction, it's really hard to turn the wheel if your car is in park and it's sitting on asphalt. Whereas once you put it into gear and start moving, it's so much easier. With a nudge of your fingertip, you can turn the steering wheel and your car changes course. So all we're doing here is getting your car in motion by saying, I'm ready. And trusting that you will do this at your own pace. It's not meaning that you're going to be on this frantic journey of leading a retreat 6 months from now that feels all stressful and pressured. It might be a year from now. It might be 2 years from now. But right now is the moment where you show up and say, I'm ready, and I don't know how this is going to happen. I don't know what pace. I don't know the timeline, but I know that I am going to do it. I am willing, I'm ready, and I am doing this. It's that inner attitude that is so essential for you to embody. So there's your I don't know shift from I don't know how to, number one, make a list of the I don't know, and then make action steps, and then create the new affirmation. Well, I don't know how, but I know I'm going to. I know I am leading this retreat. I know I am ready to show up. So, on following your bliss and finding your location. It's important to start looking more seriously about where you would like to go, really. Bring it out of the dream fantasy level of, oh, one day I'm going to do retreats here. But go online and start looking at retreat centers, hotels, campgrounds, whatever it is that you're wanting for your environment. Start looking at really, honestly, where would you do this retreat? Make it real. Start now. And here's the thing. Looking online or reading books or talking to people about your dream location should feel like fun to you. Like if that is your idea of fun, to start looking at places to travel to, you're on the right path. If you discover, actually, I hate doing research on locations and I really have no interest in doing that, then maybe this isn't your bliss. Follow your bliss. Find your joy compass and take action in alignment with that. If it's fun for you to go and start dreaming about your dream spot and Google it and find, ooh, here's a hotel or here's the location or ooh, we could go here, trust that. It's guiding you in the direction that you're called to go. So from there, you can either start talking to the owners or the booking company of where you want to do your retreat, the retreat center or the hotel or whatever, and start picking dates and booking it like I did with my first Teton retreat, where you start choking and put money in the game and then have to run outside and throw up afterwards. That is one way of doing it. It's very effective. It works. It gets you in the game. The other thing to do is get some support and get the mentorship or the community that helps you and supports you in this process so that you can feel like you're not so alone doing this and really have a fleshed out plan and strategy. And I'm going to talk with you in a few minutes about how we could work together if that's something you're interested in. But either way, if you want to do retreats, you've got to get started. Either take the action, pick the spot, book it, start making your plans concrete instead of just woo-woo out there one day, or get the support you need to have the community, the accountability, the mentoring, whatever it is you need. But one action step, do something today that embodies your stance that says to the universe and to life, I'm ready. I want to do this. So we talked about pricing. I know this is another common thing that people worry about, how to price this thing, how to price your retreat. I know people who have put together retreats and they priced it, what they thought was right, and then they just didn't get enough people signing up, so they had to cancel it. I know other people who have put something together and have had the retreat but didn't make any money or lost money because they just didn't know how to calculate the expenses, or they just didn't price it high enough, or they didn't price it high enough because they didn't believe that people would pay that much. All of these are common pricing issues. I know for my very first retreat, I wrestled with all of those. I didn't have a clue how to do retreats. I didn't have any background, and I'm not an accountant, so my background is in history, and I do laughter and play. I don't do math and accounting. It's not my bliss. So when I first did my retreat, I cobbled it together the best I could without a strategy or plan, and it was pretty tight. I did cover all the expenses, and I think I made about $400 or something. So it wasn't a big money maker that first time for me, but it gave me a ton of experience, extraordinary testimonials, tons of photo and video footage, and it was a gold mine in every sense of the word. Now, it's not to say you have to start with a $400 retreat. You can start with something much smarter and make a more spacious profit if that's where you are and that's what you desire on your journey. And I'd be so happy to help you do that. But just know that the first thing you need to do when you're pricing your retreat is really get clear on what expenses are involved. This is where you activate your left brain, your math brain, and really get real and get very specific about Okay, so if I need to go do some research or recon, and it's going to take me X number of days, do I need to rent a car? Do I need to fly anywhere? Do I drive somewhere? What do I need to do to go drive to this place, check it out, put down deposits? What is it going to take for you to do your research? Budget that in. If it's going to be staying overnight, you can contact the place where you're going and saying, hey, I'm interested in having a retreat here, and I'd like to come check it out. There are places that you may be able to do overnight stay for free if you're going to bring a group there, and you could go check it out. You can inquire about that. Otherwise, factor in that expense. When it comes to the actual retreat, remember to cover your gas, your airfare, your lodging, your meals, like everything that's involved in you being there. Get very clear on that. There's going to be your marketing, whether it's printing flyers or taking out Facebook ads or, however you're going to promote it. Maybe you're leading a free event in your community just to get some exposure. All of that has an expense, so factor that in. So really it's just getting clear on writing all of that down. And now after doing this, I've got a formula that I use that allows me just to fill in the blanks, and that way I don't miss anything. I got it all covered, and I don't miss any expenses, so that just that piece of it is covered. And that's something I share, the formula is something I share with everyone that I work with. So if that's something you're interested in, I'm happy to share it with you as we continue working together. The next piece you want to factor in is how much do you want to make from your retreat? After you've covered all your expenses so that you are completely breaking even, how much do you really, really want to generate as profit? And that's going to depend a lot on where you are on your journey. Are you doing this still as a hobby, or is this part of a business model now that you are thinking of your work as a business model and getting out there and sharing your genius in exchange for money that not only pays your bills but funds your lifestyle, a business or a hobby? So I know that first retreat, I was more of a hobbyist mindset. I didn't know what I was doing business-wise, and I was just bouncing around. So I didn't value what I was offering very much because I was brand new. I didn't even know really what I was doing. And so it was early enough in my business journey that it was more of a kind of hobbyist mindset. But after doing that, I realized, well, this is not sustainable. I put in tons of work, hours and hours and hours of preparation, not to mention a ton of work during the retreat, and then I made $400. That's not sustainable. And so it really forced me to think about what it is that I'm offering, what is the value of that, how much is my time worth, and what's the way that I'm transforming lives that really brings value to the participants. So thinking about how much you want to make, and that's a whole process in itself, but that's the next step of finding your sweet spot of pricing. Then you got to think about what is this worth to the people who are coming. The participants who are going to be interested in your retreat, what kind of a retreat are you offering, and what's the value? Let's say you want to make $10,000. Well, are you offering something that people would say, oh, I would so be willing to pay, whatever thousands of dollars to come? Or are you offering something that's like, sitting around the campfire singing, but does it offer anything that's going to really change their life? Not that there's anything wrong with campfire songs. I love them. But when it comes to making a profit and creating lasting transformation, you've got to bring your price into alignment with what it is that you are offering. And so that means getting to know the people who are coming to your retreats. You don't have to know who they are in advance, but knowing your audience and knowing what they value and knowing how to communicate what you do in a way that matches what they're looking for and is still authentic. So this is, another process in itself. And again, we do this in the coaching work that I do. But it's just something else to think about is what are people really going to pay? Now, the other flip side of this is that you don't want to be coming from the mindset of assuming, oh, nobody will pay for this. Oh, nobody would really value this. Oh, gosh, they probably wouldn't think it's that valuable. I better lower my price. There's that mindset, which is kind of the shadow side of this, what would people pay, that I see over and over driving people's expectations and assumptions about pricing, because they assume without even second guessing it that, oh, I wouldn't be able to price that high. People wouldn't pay that much. And there again, that is the fear-based voice keeping you small. Whereas when you open to how much do I want to make, and then how could I offer that value, offer that service, offer that transformation in a way that people would feel inspired to pay, whatever your price point is. It's a totally different way of thinking about pricing. So I'm just inviting you to bring more mindfulness to the pricing assumptions that you bring to the table so that you can be in an empowered state of how can I offer awesome value versus, oh, would people pay me, or what would they pay, or, that disempowered energy. You can feel the difference. How can I bring more value versus, oh, would people really pay me that much? Totally different mindset. So we're going to do a little exercise, but we're almost out of time here, so I better skip this. But let me just give you the bottom line. The pricing model that you end up with is one that feels resonant in your body. And by this is using embodiment practices to listen to the wisdom, the intelligence of yourselves to say, what is my price point? Because after you've done your calculations for what are my expenses and what do I need to break even and so on, and you've gotten clear on how much do I want to make, then you can create a range and say, all right, if my expenses are, let's just say $500, and I want to make $1,000, per person or per event or however you want to do it. Let's say a range between $1,200 and $1,800. Where in that range is my sweet spot? And then what we do is we do some playful exercises that allow you to access the intelligence of your body and really feel your truth, your authentic higher self telling you, yes, this is your sweet spot pricing. And when you come from that place, it just flows because you're in alignment. It feels authentic, and you're not guessing, what should I charge? What should I charge? You know already, and you're being guided by your higher self. So finding your resonant pricing. So after you've followed your bliss, you've picked your spot, you know where you're going to do it, you've gotten either the dates, you're booking it, or you're getting the support you need, you played with the pricing, what you're going to offer and so on, then really it's just a matter of inviting people. How do you want to tell people what you're up to? And again, when you're in the flow of your alignment and your genius, this should feel like fun. I know so many people really wrestle with marketing and promotion. And, I don't like selling. I don't want to have to sell my event. Blah, blah, blah. But when you've created something that is from your heart and it's in your location that lights you up and it feels so fun and you are excited about sharing it, then marketing it is just an opportunity for you to tell people about what you're up to, and it's fun. So when you are inviting people, it's coming back to that mindset, coming from, I got something awesome to share, versus, how do I get people to come to my event because I need to make money? Different attitude, different energy. So being mindful of that, and then deciding, all right, how do I want to connect with my potential audience? Now, I wish I could tell you there was a specific strategy that is the way to do this, but following your bliss is never a linear path, and it's unique for everyone. And so it happens much more organically than you might think. I know everyone wants the magic pill that says, okay, if I just do this, then, okay, I'll fill my retreat because it'll work. But it actually doesn't work like that so much. It's more, what I've found, just being yourself and talking about what you do wherever you go. Not in an obnoxious, annoying way, but you'll find it comes up organically in conversation. You're in line at the post office talking to somebody, or, riding the bus, or out for a walk and getting fresh air. Just where you happen to encounter people in general is the first place of saying, oh, and this is what I do. This is what I do. Now, for those of you just starting out in business and retreats, you're going to find that those kind of conversations are the most organic way for word of mouth to spread and for you to get yourself out there. It doesn't sound like much of a business strategy because it's just relying on you to get out and have conversations with people. But that's one end of the spectrum. The other end of the spectrum is something like going online and taking out Facebook ads. And I know that many of you on this call today are here because you saw a Facebook advertisement that I created and put together a couple of web pages so that you could be here on this call right now. And that is another way of getting yourself out there and letting people know what you do. So there's a whole spectrum, and all of them work, and all of them are for different places on your journey depending on what your intentions are, what your goals are, where you want to be playing, how you want to be connecting with people. And it's really just a matter of getting clear on what you want to do, with whom, and why that determines your unique marketing strategy. And I don't even like to use the words marketing strategy because it sounds really uptight, boring, and a little intimidating. It's more of a follow your bliss. How do you like to connect with people? Are you on Facebook? Are you on, going for walks with people? Are you out in your community? What's your bliss? Where is your hell yeah? This would be so fun. So again, I'll go back to my very first retreat just for a concrete example. So I gave myself a year to figure out how to put together this retreat. And then in that year, I was doing things like just for fun, teaching raw food classes in my community because I was really into raw food at the time. And I decided, I know what I could do. I want to share this with people. And so I'd invite people over and we would massage kale on a Friday night and laugh. And it had nothing to do with my retreat at all. It was just me wanting to follow my bliss and do something. So it wasn't strategic thinking at all. But I had several people sign up for my retreats because they'd come to my raw food class and gotten a taste for what I'm about and how I flow. And they wanted to do more, and they came to my retreats. I did movie nights in my community because I was just passionate about, here's a really cool film that's a documentary about, health or consciousness or something, I've already forgotten. But just getting myself out there and inviting people, saying, hey, I'm having a film screening if anybody wants to come. And then afterwards talking about, and by the way, I do retreats. So none of it was designed to, how can I get out there and sell my retreat? It was, what would be fun for me? And then, by the way, I also do retreats, and it happened so organically that it never felt salesy. It never felt like a struggle to get out there. And I had given myself a year to figure it out, so there was not a time pressure of, I need to fill this retreat now. So that's not to say that's how I operate so much now. I have a little bit more strategic plan in place because I'm having fun with Facebook ads, and I'm having a ball figuring out the whole online world and learning that whole mode, and it's been really fun to see how that's just exploded. But you don't have to start there is my point. You can start with just what is fun for you? What would be a fun way for just you to tell people about what you're about? That's all it comes down to, is getting out in front of people and giving yourself a stage or a platform to say, hey, this is what I'm about. this is what I do, and if you want to play with me or work with me more, here's what I got going on in the calendar. And you'd be amazed at how people perk up and go, oh, God, that would be so cool. I think I'm going to check my calendar. I'm going to talk to my friend, see if she wants to come. So just getting yourself out there, but in alignment with what would be fun for you. What would be fun for you? That is your primary question. What would be the most fun way to get yourself out into your community, either locally or online, and just let people know what you're about? So finding your hell yeah, that's what it comes down to. What's my hell yeah? That would be so fun. That's what I want to do. Because when you're in that energy, that's what people feel. It's not about, oh, let's see, how can I calculate how to do this and get in my head and figure out how to do it right? Because that energy is that of calculation, figuring, that is not radiating joy, bliss, or hell yeah to the universe. So, okay, all of that has been a ton of information about the infrastructure and what you need to do to set yourself up for success for creating your first retreat or getting over the hump to create profitable retreats if you've done some before and they haven't taken off. So I told you earlier I would share with you a little bit about how I work with people so that if you're inspired or interested, you can learn a little bit more. So there's two ways that I love to work with people. I do both one-on-one coaching and, of course, retreats. I love retreats. I'm going to tell you about the retreat first. So the next retreat that I am doing is in Mexico, the 3rd through the 9th of May of this year, so a couple months from now. And we're going to be in the community of Puerto Morelos, just south of Cancun. So it's a very short drive from the Cancun International Airport. You can fly in there. And this retreat is all about creating your retreat and becoming the transformational leader that leads successful, awesome, transformational retreats. So at the Mexico retreat, it is a transformational leader mastermind retreat, which means it is 4 other people who are in this same vein of thinking. This is your tribe, your peeps. Everyone here is a budding transformational leader at different stages on the journey and growing into that leadership role. So it doesn't matter where you are on the journey, whether you're ready to lead a retreat next year or 3 years from now. If you are a transformational leader who knows that at some point you will be creating retreats and transformational events, then this is a retreat that is your tribe. This is your sweet spot. This is your mastermind group. So at this retreat, we'll be going through everything I've just talked about, where you're going to lead your retreat, how to connect with the people who are there if you haven't been there before, using the power of the mastermind group to network and make connections, booking your retreat, getting those details in place, creating the structure, the content, the activities. What is the heart of your retreat? And a big part of all the retreats I do is diving into your genius, like the essence of you that is the unique message and value that you bring to the world. And so this is what's the power of being on retreat, is getting that mirrored back to you by your community. We cannot ever see ourselves clearly. We need each other to know who we truly are. So this retreat helps you refine your genius, because even though you have a message and a modality that you want to share with people, there's the essence of you that is going to make this unique. And the more you understand and can articulate that, the more successful you're going to be. It's that difference between not really knowing your incredible value and worth and being able to create from that place, not in an egocentric, oh, I'm so awesome, look at me, come to my retreat because la, 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 la. I'm not talking about that kind of egocentric energy. This is that, wow, this is my divine truth. I know the role that I'm here to do on the planet, and I'm not going to play small and shine or hide my light anymore. I'm going to shine, and I'm going to step up. And that's the energy that you come from during one of my retreats. So from there, you're creating your retreat. We're doing the whole pricing thing so that you can get clear on, number one, you get my whole pricing formula and all of the systems that I use to dial in the numbers, but also the energetic side of your authentic price. How much is your pricing for this first retreat, and then where are you headed in the next one? Your price is always going to change depending on your evolution and what you're offering and how your work continues to expand. So we'll dive into that pricing so that you don't have to lose money or build these retreats from the hobbyist mindset. You really don't have to start from that place. You can come from a place of, this is me, I value what I'm doing, and I'm offering it as a service that transforms lives, and I know that I can be compensated for that in an authentic, fair, and beautiful manner. So finding your sweet spot pricing that's going to let you make a profit, finding a place, and then coming up with your authentic hell yeah strategy where you're getting clear on exactly how you're going to invite people, where are they even hanging out so that you can find them, and becoming that magnet so that you'll attract the people who are the perfect match for what you offer, what you're about, how you operate, how you like to play. There are people who are needing exactly what you have to offer right now. This is the beautiful thing about the way this whole universe and our humanity is set up from the divine cosmos perspective. It's like you wouldn't be having this idea to lead a retreat that offers whatever your thing is if there weren't somebody out there right now who's praying at night, I wish I had the solution that would help me with this. It already exists. That's why you have the desire. You are the solution to somebody's problem. And so what we'll play with in the retreat is helping you find that sweet spot where that intersects, where what your bliss is the perfect solution to somebody else's problem, and how you connect with them in a way that lights you up and fills your event. So the Mexico retreat, we are going to be spending a week together in Puerto Morales, and we're doing all of this juicy retreat creation masterminding with your tribe, with the people who totally support you, with the people who help you discover and see your value and worth more clearly than ever before. And we're going to be doing some of my favorite retreat activities that support all of this transformation. And so we are not only going to be lounging on the beach and doing laughing and playing and transforming into our best selves by relaxing through laughter and play, we are also doing some snorkeling for those who want to do that. These are, of course, all optional. There are these deep freshwater pools they call cenotes that we can go swimming in or zip lining in or just exploring. We'll be going to those. We'll be checking out some of the ancient ruins and doing some yoga, some qigong, getting massages, all of the wonderful fun activities that let you really embody being on a beach, on retreat, in a beautiful location. But also woven into that is our retreat building activities. So it's a beautiful mix of playtime, downtime, and deep co-creation time. And wherever you are on your journey, whether your retreat is imminent or a long time from now, this is foundational work, because whatever comes from this week together is the essence that you will carry forward from here on. This is getting connected and aligned with your soul on your path. So the retreat is all-inclusive except for airfare. And so you get yourself to Cancun and get yourself to the retreat center in Puerto Morales. And once you're there, everything is taken care of, so you can just relax. It's all included, all the activities, all the transportation, all the meals, all the lodging, everything. And so for that week of creating your retreat on retreat, I will also give you the inside scoop of everything I use to create this retreat. So you have access to all my systems, all my files, all the forms that I use. You'll be able to use those for your retreat. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel coming up with how do I get people to register and how do I do this. All of that is in my base of files that I'll be sharing with you. So you'll have everything from how to price, the formulas, the spreadsheets, the tracking your participants, like all of that systems that it takes just to simplify it. You'll have access to all of that, as well as getting the under the hood look at how I created this particular retreat and accessing every step of that journey, as well as getting to play along with me as I create my next retreat. For those of you who come to the Mexico retreat, I will be walking you through everything I'm doing to create my next event, my next retreat, which will be in Greece, in the Greek Isles. So you'll be getting to learn with me as I create that and just kind of learn vicariously through someone else's journey, which is often worth its weight in gold. So that whole retreat is all-inclusive once you get there. It is $3,995 for the week, and it is really the foundation of your joyful business launch. Whatever your business is, this is where you launch it. So it's so much more than just a retreat. But again, it's everything included, plus you've got this incredible mastermind tribe of people to connect with. So that is May 3rd through 9th, and for more information on the Mexico retreat, you can go to embodyingjoy.com/Mexico. My website is embodyingjoy.com/Mexico, and the details are posted there, as well as information on how to register and reserve your spot. Again, it's May 3 through 9, and it's flying into Cancun International Airport. Now, the materials you're going to gain from that are going to set you up for success with all of your retreats. So you could use that retreat to create your first retreat, and then you've got it dialed in. Like from now on, you can create retreats because you've dialed in the process. So in terms of creating a retreat-based business, this is everything you're going to need to launch it, create it, and really run with it, following your bliss and creating the retreats and the business that allow you to share your genius and your passion and your gift with the people who you are meant to serve. Now, I really, really, really am passionate about working with other transformational leaders who are at that place of wanting to get out in the world more and share their genius and really, truly make a profit that allows you to be sustainable, living your right livelihood. This is my passion because this is where I started was, I don't know how to do this. And so I totally get it. I've been there. I know it well. And I just love working with people who are also of that mindset of wanting to make a difference and follow your bliss and do what you do best in a way that brings you the most joy. And so what I'm doing with this particular offer today is adding a coaching package so that you also have the ongoing support after the Mexico retreat that allows you to really embody this and create a sustainable business. So in addition to our week together in Mexico, I'm also including a $4,000 coaching package. So it's basically two for the price of one. You get the all-inclusive retreat, but then we will also have 4 months of working together with, number one, a mastermind group every week for 4 months where you and the people who are along in Mexico get to stay connected every week to support each other in bringing your vision to reality and bouncing ideas off each other, both over the phone in our weekly calls and in our Facebook group. The power of this community is incredible. With the other retreats I've facilitated, the juicy stuff that comes from this mastermind alone is worth its weight in gold just to have your tribe of people who get you, who you can bounce ideas off, and of course you have access to me as well, but really to ground this in reality and bring your vision to you doing it, not just going, well, I had this great retreat and now I don't know how to do it. I'm back at home and everything feels so hard again, or I lost my mojo. This is your way of staying connected in a sustainable manner that lets you launch your rocket ship off the ground and get out there into the world doing the work that you were born to do. So we've got a weekly mastermind, plus you've got 4 months of private coaching with me. This is just you and I getting on the phone or on Skype, one-on-one, and getting clear on wherever you're at, what you need to do, getting unstuck, keeping you moving forward so that you are living your dream, you are embodying your leadership, you're embodying your divine truth, you're getting out of your own way, and you're getting the support, the mentorship, the accountability that you need to keep going. So we've got 4 months of mastermind, 4 months of private coaching, and this ongoing support is going to guarantee that you are on track to be living this life that you were born to live, stepping into your role as a transformational leader. Now, because I've found it to be so fun and so incredibly exciting and what's the word, successful to play in the world of online space, I'm going to also throw in one more bonus training, and this is something that I've paid almost $10,000 to learn how to do. It's not something that is super easy, but it's simple, and once you know how to do this, the sky is the limit. And that is the art of creating a Facebook ad and connecting with your audience in a way that makes them want to click. Yes, I want to be on that call. I want to be on that retreat. I want to learn more. The art of creating Facebook ads and connecting with your audience so you can fill your retreats is another bonus training I'm adding to this Mexico retreat event. And so if you register for the Mexico retreat, you will also get 4 months of mastermind, 4 months of coaching, and this bonus 4-week Facebook training that's going to show you how to set up your online business without having a website, without having any web skills whatsoever. You don't need any of that stuff. And I will show you exactly the steps I've used to create my online funnel, so to speak, to use the lingo, so that I can meet people from around the world and connect with the people who are a match for what I'm offering. And this is gold. You know, the people that you are meant to serve are all over the world, and Facebook has become this incredible way of connecting. So I'm going to just share with you that 4-week bonus training when you come to Mexico with me. And so that is worth, thousands of dollars in itself, but I'm including it for free because I really, really want you to thrive and succeed. Like, this has been my journey, and I'm so passionate about supporting other people who are where I've been, because there is no need for any of us to struggle and make it harder and lose any more money than we need to, when we can just help each other to get out in the world and make a difference. So all of this is yours. Now I sound like a used car salesman. What happened? That's funny. Yours today for only. No, for the retreat, the coaching, the Facebook training, all of that is your solid foundation for creating your business that lets you get out in the world with your message. And so all of that is $3,995. And if you are interested and you're like, I really, really need this, I really want to do this, but I'm going to a wedding in May and I can't come to Mexico, or, you've got some scheduling things so that Mexico doesn't work for you, just send me an email, send it to support@embodyingjoy.com, and we'll set up a time to talk about other options, whether it's the next retreat that's coming down the pike, which I don't have dates for yet, or it's just doing a one-on-one coaching piece. That's fine. But send me a note and let me know what your deal is, and we'll work out something. So email me at support@embodyingjoy.com if Mexico dates don't work for you. But otherwise, I would love to have you join me in Mexico, because there is no better way to learn how to be a transformational retreat leader than being on retreat and getting under the hood and just seeing every day, here's why I did this activity, here's what it's doing, notice what's happening with the group here, here's the transformation that's unfolding, here's why I shaped it the way I did, here's how I got you all here, here's how the pricing worked. I mean, everything you need to know about running a successful, profitable retreat is what I'm sharing with you at this retreat in Mexico. So I would love to have you join me. Again, the website is embodyingjoy.com/Mexico. So the last piece I want to share with you on leading retreats is just simply a little spark igniting, fire boosting juice here. Just knowing that if you are here with a burning in your heart that's even just a tiny, tiny smoldering of, oh, I want to lead retreat someday, just know that you would not even be having that desire if this was not your calling, if this is not your path. And it may look very, very different than what you expect. It'll look completely different from mine, my journey. It will look completely different from anybody else's path. But your desire to go travel and go to somewhere beautiful that's nourishing and lead events that transform people's lives, this is your calling. And when you just decide that from this moment I am saying yes to my desire, I'm saying yes to my calling, just that saying yes massively puts into action the wheels of the universe, and you discover that you are supported and doors open like you would never believe. When I started this, I just had a big idea and a willingness to say yes, and I was scared to death, and I put down money over and over, and I stretched myself to sign up for things that I never ever would have dreamed of, and yet the connections and the abundance and the support and the resources and the absolute miraculous flow that is unleashed for me since that moment has been beyond words. I have been around the world now. I've been to Thailand twice. I just finished a trip around the world, literally, circumnavigating the globe. I've gotten to see beautiful places. I've gotten to laugh on beaches all over the place, play with people in gorgeous spots, go everything from zip lining to elephant riding to getting Thai massages on a beach to having, fresh fish and climbing volcanoes in Maui and, all of these adventures that I always dreamed of having, but I was always hiding behind, who am I to speak? What do I have to offer? I don't know. All of that stuff kept me from living this life of my dreams. And as soon as I decided I'm going to say yes and face the fears and do it anyway, one by one the fears have been revealed to be complete illusions. And every step of the way, magic has happened and miracles have happened to allow me to totally live this dream life that it was just a dream not that long ago. And so for everybody I run into, I'm so passionate about, get out there, do something, say yes, take a step, just move in the direction of something that's expanded version of you, because you will get to discover this miraculous life, and it is all of our birthright. This is all of our true divine nature. It's not just some fluke that happened for me and nobody else. This is all of our truth. And we need each other in this process of extracting ourselves from mass consciousness and limiting beliefs and all of that smallness and heavy energy that's just so pervasive. We are the ones that are here to make a difference and help others transform, and we can't do it unless we step up ourselves. So to create your retreat is one way of saying, I'm willing to show up. I'm here to step up and claim my destiny, because no one is going to give it to you. No one's going to discover you. No one's going to say, oh, please, would you lead retreats? I really, really want to pay you lots of money to hear what you have to offer. Nobody's going to appoint you. Nobody's going to put you on a pedestal. The only way this happens is for you to say, that's it. I'm stepping up. I'm doing this. And when you do that and you show up, the universe rallies and supports you, like conspires on your behalf to say, yeah, we got a live one. We got another one in the game. Woo! So you start getting the inspired ideas, the resources, everything you need to live your destiny and succeed wildly. So just know you are a transformational leader. Post your affirmations on your mirror. Tell yourself every day, I am a transformational leader that creates retreats in fill in the blank. Keep your bliss on your radar and live this dream. This is your life to live. There is no point in holding back. There's no point in putting it off until a time that makes more sense. There's only now. What energy are you putting out into the universe right now? That's your life right now, whatever you are radiating. So I'd love to play with you in Mexico. EmbodyingJoy.Mexico is the website for more information. Zap me a note if you want to email me at support@embodyingjoy.com if you have any questions or the Mexico dates aren't working for you. Before we hang up, I would love to just connect and hear everybody's voices again as we've shared this journey of transformation. I'm going to unmute the lines here so we can have one last laugh and go get some lunch. Or wait a minute, the technology is not working. Okay, now we can really laugh. Ha, 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 ha. One more button to click. Okay, beautiful. Now we can let's see. Of course, now that I say that, everything is crashing technologically. That gets really funny. Well, if we can get this to work, let's try taking a deep breath in and laughing. We'll just see who shows up on the line, if this mute button is actually unmuted or not. So just owning your awesomeness as a leader of transformation, a part of the shift in consciousness. Take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, ha, 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 ha. There we are. All right, awesome. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you for saying yes to the next step, and send me an email. Let me know what your next step is on your journey. I'd love to hear from you and where you're at and what kind of retreats you want to you are creating. And I look forward to connecting with you again soon. I'm going to send you a couple more emails just to give you a little more information and support and juice for the journey, because we all need a little bit extra. So the lines are unmuted, so we could say farewell to all the others who are on the line today. Thank you for all being here. Let's say bye, everyone. Bye.
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 Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.